Hello friends, welcome to India Spend Data Fix, or a take on the big story of the week through the prism of data. This week's story again is the demonetization process started by the government of India, and we are going to discuss its prospects and the perils. To discuss this, we have with us Mr. Praveen Chakravarty, who happens to be the visiting senior fellow of political economy at the IDFC Institute, a think tank based in Mumbai. We are now live. I urge every one of you to share this link with your friends and followers. So Praveen, we are 9 days into the demonetization process now, and the subsequent remonetization as well. So there's clearly more chaos than the government and than people expected. What do you think about it?
Sure. Abhishek, so I think we have to first take a step back and understand why the chaos was inevitable. Let's think about some numbers here. There were 15 billion notes of 500 rupees and 6 billion notes of 1000 rupees in circulation on the 8th of November.
Right.
The 9th of November, this became invalid, useless paper.
So 21 billion notes are invalid.
Useless paper. Now, let's assume every 500 rupee note, just for understanding purposes, let's assume every 500 rupee note now has to be exchanged for 5 100 rupee notes. Right?
Yeah.
Which means nearly 75 billion new 100 rupee notes have to be printed.
Yeah, that's too much.
The annual printing capacity of all the printing presses of the Reserve Bank of India is about 25 billion in 1 year. This is just to give you a sense. If every single 500 rupee note had to be changed into 5 100 rupee notes, it would have taken 3 years of printing capacity to print the equivalent number in 100 rupee notes.
So you're saying the capacity that we have is 1/5 of what if we need to print 100 rupee notes of the same value.
I'm just giving you the extreme example.
Yeah.
Granted, we don't have to print 75 billion 500 rupee notes immediately.
Maybe that is why they have brought in the higher denominations again.
Exactly. That also answers the question, why a 2000 rupee note? Right? Because with the 500 rupee or 1000 rupee, if you go exchange it for a 2000 rupee note, then your printing requirements come down dramatically.
Yeah, right.
But if you actually take a step back from an economic perspective, to introduce a currency for printing and logistical reasons is somewhat bizarre. You don't introduce currency in an economy because it's easy to print.
Right. So, what do you think? I mean, so some people have been saying that this process is not exactly demonetization. This is something else. So, what exactly is demonetization, and what exactly is this process? Are they same? Are they different?
Let us be very clear. This is not demonetization. Demonetization essentially implies removing higher value currency, eliminating it or retiring it permanently. So, had the Prime Minister on the 8th of November at 8 p.m. announced that we are retiring the 1000 rupee note forever, then he would have demonetized the 1000 rupee note. This is the classical argument made in a research paper that is often cited by Peter Sands, the former CEO of Standard Chartered Bank, published by Harvard University. And this, where he argued that countries will have to retire high value currency, the US $100, the euro 500 euro, so that it eliminates, or at least it reduces, terrorism financing, illegitimate accumulation of illicit wealth, all of that. Okay. So that's where this idea comes from. Okay. So let's be clear. All we have done is we've said we don't like the old 500 and the 1000 rupee note. We like the new magenta color of 2000 rupees. So please take that. Okay. So it's old for new.
Okay. So there's a different. What we have been observing is that the effect of this on the urban people and in the rural sector, it has been different. So the rural areas of India are now are now selling off their Kharif harvest, the summer crop harvest, and the winter they are preparing for the Rabi crop, the winter harvest. So the effect of this move would be more pronounced in the rural areas than the urban areas. Would it be different in these two regions?
I think more than rural or urban, the way to understand the impact of this is to understand it in terms of distance to a bank branch.
Okay.
Essentially, if you had money that has become invalid, you have to go get new money. How do you get new money? You have to either go to a bank or an ATM. The fact is 630 million Indians today live in an area where they do not have a bank branch within a kilometer of where they live.
So that is half of Indians, half of the Indian population does not have a branch at a walking distance from their house.
Yes. So this is as per NSSO data. So very clearly then you can see why it will impact some people far more than us, where here we have, I think, about 25 ATMs in 100 meters and 500 meter radius.
So it will clearly impact the rural India more.
So clearly it will have a greater impact.
Then is there a difference between the black economy and the cash economy? Because people are saying there are 14 lakh crore, 17 lakh crore of cash in India, but black economy is something very different. What is the difference between these two?
In fact, I actually quote this. I say all cash is not black and all black is not in cash.
Okay.
So estimates are about anywhere from 35 to 50% of our economy is informal economy. Informal does not mean illegitimate, right? So informal means that I do my business in cash. I earn in cash, I transact in cash, I save in cash. But all of that is legitimate.
Right.
When I do not pay the taxes that I need to on the income that I have received, then that part is, we've given it a color called black.
Yeah, so most of the things that get transacted in cash are not necessarily black.
All cash is not black.
But some of it is, which is not accounted for, which is not, the taxes are not being paid. Only that is black.
Yes.
Yeah. So from yesterday, there's a debate going on how much the government will gain through this demonetization exercise.
It's not demonetization, but yes.
Okay, from this exercise. So there are some estimates. The SBI research has been quoted in Hindu Business Line as there will be a windfall gain of rupees 2.5 lakh crore to the RBI, which it can transfer to the government. But at the same time, former RBI Governor D. Subbarao, in a speech in Singapore, he said that doing this would be possible, but not recommended. What do you think of it? I mean, is it possible that the government will gain a windfall gain from this?
So let's understand how this works, right? There are 15 lakh crores of value of 500 and 1000 rupee notes. Now, if all of them had to be exchanged, people think that maybe 12 lakh will get exchanged for new notes, 13 lakh will get exchanged, 14 lakh, we don't know the answer to that. Expectations are that some amount will not get exchanged.
Okay.
If that amount is 1 lakh crores, then 1 lakh crores, people have not claimed it.
So will that be a gain of the RBI? Will that be a profit of the RBI?
This is controversial at this point in time. I think while RBI can technically say that I don't have that liability anymore of that 1 lakh crores, it does not necessarily mean that they will have to just give that give profits of that to the government.
Yeah, so it's not quite clear, and it's not possible exactly that will happen. So time will tell, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you think, as the last question I would ask, what will be the short term, and in one line, what will be the long term benefit of this exercise for common Indians?
It's a good question, because I don't think the answer is very clear at this point in time, unless there are other measures taken to stem the flow of black money and hence, have a macroeconomic impact on growth and savings, At this point in time, it is unclear what the benefits to the common person
So, for example,
will be.
would the interest rates come down? Would my home loan be simpler for me?
See, if you think the economic impact or the shock, the negative shock of this will cause GDP growth to be lower, and hence interest rates have to be lowered, then maybe interest rates will be lowered.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Praveen. I'm glad that you made us think. You made us understand complex things in a simple, in very simple manner. To all our viewers, I thank you all of us for watching this. Please like the video, share the video, and please share it to all your followers. Thank you very much.